Hello, film family. Welcome to our classic movie review podcast, the show where AJ and myself look at movies that are hitting a landmark this month 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, or older. All depends what movies are hitting a landmark in any given month. This month, we've got 4 movies to talk about. Let's get straight into it. AJ, 10 years old this month, one of the finest horror movies of the 21st century, elevated horror, ut horror, proper horror, the stuff that I like, and I think it's your first time watching it. It Follows.
Yes. The more I watched it, the more I remember you talking about it. This film is very much what falls into the slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
Very much in a slow burn, in the sense of you can watch it, don't expect a jump scare, don't expect the traditional, the stereotypical horror. As you said, it's it's got a different spin and mix to it. I was intrigued. I was impressed. There was I don't want to bring a spoiler, but there was this one part, where a film has you so invested in something, and it has a slight comedic moment. There was that one moment in the film of visual, like, can you see that person? Yes. I couldn't help but laugh when the group were there. But it very interesting. Very, the spin is there. I enjoyed it. I think what I needed though, was, I can see where the story was going. I think I needed maybe 1 or 2 more victims to build in the story of this slow burn. Maybe, I don't want to say it's too slow a burn for me, but that was my element. I felt like I've got the story, and I can see the mind psychology is beautiful in this film. And it's convincing people, and people believe in you, but it's a forced belief, because of, like, I have to believe you, and there's 2 of you telling me this story, and that's what's going to make me believe it. But I can't see or understand what you're telling me, so we'll go with it. It was very well played, very well put together. The way the characters and creatures are there, and then stuff that force you to believe, that are injected in it as well, are very good, very good. And the end, I was like, well, that would make the beast move along. That will make the beast move along. Well played. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Horror gets great when it becomes allegorical, when it's, I mean, there's so many good types of horror, be it gore porn, be it doing something new like 𝑨𝒃𝒐𝒖𝒕 the Demon Nun in the Conjuring universe, having something that's based, loose comment there, but based on a true story to make it feel like it's that much more sinister. These are all very good tricks of the trade. But horror, when it becomes allegorical, for me, is when it becomes truly terrifying, like Martyrs, completely allegorical. Like this, the whole thing's basically an allegory for rape. That's all it is, right? It's the lingering dread that's following you. It's having to deal with, the sexual guilt. Like, the movie addresses all of these things, and it's very unpleasant. And it takes the age-old concept of the death snail, doesn't it? If there was a little snail that could follow you anywhere in the world, and if it touched you, you die. Do you live a happy life?
Bro, it's funny you say rape, because I don't know if it was rape, but promiscuity behind it, because of through commitment and what have you. Selfishness was some of the tropes that I found from this film, because it's like, do you just take it? Do you pass it on? How do you handle it? And the concept, the basis of how it happens is, this is, it's the weirdest way of showing an STD. It's weird, but it's real. It's a sexually transmitted demon. It's not disease at this point. It's a demon, and it's like, how do you play it? Do you pass it on? Do you stop and just end it there, and it just goes back from there? This is what I was like. It's the questioning that came with it. I was like, so what is the steps? And then I'm looking at the people that, it's so hard to talk about this film without getting into spoiler, but it's like, the is this a sacrifice as a friend? Are you being selfish by letting this friend take on this challenge for you? Because that's what these are the questions I'm asking when I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, but why are you doing this? What gain do you have? Yeah,
these are all huge themes, and it follows, and that's one of the reasons why it's so damn effective. It makes you. It's impossible to answer. It's like it's the money in the briefcase argument, isn't it? Everyone says, "No, I don't have a price." everyone has a price.
Yeah.
Everyone has a price.
Yeah.
It's playing with that notion. In this case, the price is your life, right? That's your price. You know, would you give another man a blowjob as a straight male for £5,000? No. 10,000? No. 100,000? Well,
I say I'll do it, but I understand. Like it's you know,
yeah.
it's
You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's
There's
one of those, what's your cost? What's your
yeah,
price? Is your life worth more than that of your friend? Are you
yeah,
willing to pass something on to be free of your demons? It's
yeah.
brilliant. And I have to
It's
say,
a very good one. Very good one. It's one of these films. I don't know. Do you want to score it or before I give this summary? I don't know. It's a weird one because
give a summary and I'll score it. Maybe your
so,
summary will affect
so
my
my
scoring.
thing is that would I watch it again? Yes, but is it something I could watch multiple times? Probably not, because the story is so contained in itself that it will stick with you without you having to watch it multiple times. And I don't think that maybe there is, but you know, some films you get a takeaway by watching it multiple times. I will watch it again to take it in greater.
Yeah.
And with that thing, but I don't know if it needs multiple watches, but it's a film that will stick with you.
I think it's one that it's in our sort of capacity where people say to you, oh, I'm not really into horror. I don't like jump scares. It's like, try this. Let's watch this one together. See what you make of this. You know, I think it's very much one for, well, obviously the hardcore horror fans, but also as a kind of conduit for converting people into liking horror, because it is an intelligent movie. That's the thing about it. And that's when it becomes what you call haute horror, you know, proper horror. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's one of those, it's one of those movies that I've only seen it the once, and it's a decade old now, but it's always stuck with me. Always. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for It Follows.
I'm literally just pasted it as an 8. Yeah, we're in a good territory. Like, we're in an 8. We're in a so much territory. It's great. It's got a lot to take away. So yeah, I like
Love it. All right, keeping it 10 years old. This is Age Like Milk. I want to talk about 50 Shades of Grey, the first movie, the movie that's meant to be risque and sexual, but actually is about as arousing as some Cinemax porn.
Look, here's the thing with this. I remember you reviewing these films and hating it.
Yes,
hating. The lady of the house is a huge 50 Shades fan, and I'm not too sure why.
Make sense.
It's one of these things she just goes back to all the time. It's just an easy watch for her. It's not for like the sexualization. It's not that.
There's no sexualization.
Well, this is it. This is it.
There is none.
And I'm kind of middle ground. I just like the hype. I'm like, no. It just no. The 50 Shades hype is whatever. It's watchable. That's how I feel about it. I genuinely feel it's watchable. I'm not overhyped with it. I remember following it and being like, okay, I've watched number 1. Let's see where this story goes. And that was me. I can't remember if it was the third one. I was like, oh, this is just pathetic. Number 2, I was kind of like, hey, bring it on. Bring on the third. I remember like being mildly intrigued, but it's just some guy who's just very particular and has a bit of a kink.
But the thing is, he's not even that particular. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, having a red room and all of that kinky stuff he's got is particular. But like, it's perfectly encapsulated in the last scene of the film when she says to him, "Punish me." I mean, he takes a belt to her. Big effing whoop. I'm not trying to front like I'm Mr. Freaky. I'm not into all of that S&M stuff. But I'm sorry. It's pretty common knowledge that that's entry-level stuff.
That's I get that, bro. When I say particular, I'm talking about he's how I shall be respected and this, that, and the other. But you know what really cracks me up? And I don't know if this comes up on your algorithm, right? Christian Grey comes up very similar to these little stories that pop up on your Facebook or Instagram things of this guy was a secret millionaire and he married into this family. Like, he's got all this crazy money and he can say whatever Christian Grey says, whatever Christian Grey does, the world must follow and listen. But there's no real reason behind it. It's just like, He's a tech savvy one. He can get a private jet when he wants, and we just have to accept it.
He's a control freak, right? So it
Yeah,
explains
that's what I
why
mean by his
it
particularness.
explains why he's like that, but it never explains why the world falls in line to him being a control freak. Like, it's
I would just
just
break it down to money.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. I mean, oh, man, Christian Grey is literally like if you ordered Patrick Bateman from Temu. That's all he is. Like, he's American Psycho from Wish. That's all he is. There's nothing particularly avant-garde about him. The character completely betrays itself because it's like one moment it's like, no, I don't do this. Next it's like, oh, you're a virgin. I will be gentle with you. Then it's like, now I will punish you. Then it's like, no, please wait, don't leave. It's like, pick a lane. Pick a lane, because once you pick a lane, I'll be able to buy into the character. No, but then you're missing the point of the movie, because actually what it's showing is that he's got kinks and this girl has actually made him question himself. Cool, show that. Where did that happen?
I think
What did she do that made him change? Nothing. She's got a cracking pair of tits and a tight ass. That's it. He says categorically when she says, how many women have been in here? I can't remember if it's 51 or 91. It was a large number. And that man has got money. He has seen a cracking set of tits and a tight ass before. The whole premise of this purer than thou virgin succumbing to the confidence and the aura of this young millionaire and then going on board with his kinks, which you actually find out are kind of not that kinky. Like, again, I'm really not trying to front and be like, I'm some super kinky sex demon. It's just not the case. But like, we are living in a sex positive 21st century where, like,
he's not even in a gimp suit at any point, is he?
Bruv, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pulp Fiction was more risque than this. Seriously. There's nothing particularly like sexually intimidating about him, and that's meant to be the premise of the whole character, is that he's so risque that he only has intercourse in this way. He even says it. I can't swear, but he says, I don't make love, I F hard. It's like, do you?
I wonder though, and this could be like one of these things that I don't normally fall to the premise of it. Is the book more risque, but they've lowered it down so they can get more butts and seats in the cinema? I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know.
I'm proud to say I've not read the book. All I've heard is that it's softcore lady porn.
But listen, it's Mills and Boons just written by somebody else. That's what I'm sure it is. And I and this is the thing for me. I think there are parts where we'll be like, because while you've given that breakdown, there's some people screaming, but you don't understand. He was orphaned, and this is why he was tortured, and this is why he does it. But he does it in the bedroom to people. And I'm not saying it is or isn't. I've not come from that background, so I can't say it, and I'm not any kinkmeister by any means. I'm quite vanilla. Sorry to disappoint any listeners, but like in the same breath, it is what it is. When it comes to this film, I found it watchable. It was passable. It doesn't offend me, but it doesn't excite me. That's how it feels.
That's good. Look, just to be clear, I'm not looking for I'm not looking for 𝒊𝒍𝒗𝒆𝒓. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for pornography in what is ultimately just the pseudo love story. But you're trying to convince me that this character, one is holier than thou and one is sin personified. And it doesn't work in either capacity. And you do raise an interesting point by bringing up the fact that he was orphaned, and you do hear the backstory. So now it moves beyond script and it comes down to execution. And we go back full circle to the comment that I made at the top. The execution of this movie was complete Cinemark porn. It's lazy. It's like, enter door. You can literally see the words of the script. Christian Grey opens door. Christian Grey walks through door. Christian Grey closes door. It's like, can you get to the freaking point, please? Christian Grey binds hands. Camera pans down. Christian Grey picks up Kane. Christian Grey bends her over. Christian Grey taps her on the bottom. Christian Grey taps her on the boobies. Christian Grey asks if she likes it. Do you like it? She answers, I do. It's like, oh my God, it's mind-numbingly vanilla. And I'm not talking about the sexual acts. I'm talking about the script. It's so
You know what's
vanilla.
weird is that it's got this big following. Didn't Maggie Gyllenhaal do like The Secretary or something that was just so similar?
That was
You know,
hot.
do you get what I'm trying to say? And I feel in that element, you're kind of like, I've seen this, and as you said, possibly executed a bit better. You know, it's new, but it's all because of the hype that came with the book, and they rushed the movie. They rushed the movie out because the book was so like successful. You
Just
know,
wasn't good.
look, to me,
Go on.
I was going to say, for me, it's 6 out of 10. It's above average.
Jesus.
I could go 5, but I'm like, I followed the story. As I said, it didn't offend me to that degree. I'm between 5 and 6, but I'd give it the benefit of the doubt of a 6. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, we're worlds apart on this one, bro. It's not Transformers or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Michael Bay territory for me. It's not that deep, but like, I can't bring myself to give this anything more than a 3 out of 10. It's I think and I mentioned the fact that we're in the 21st century and that we're in the everyone is trying to be very sex positive, despite everyone being so easily offended. The world has become very sex positive, you know.
Sure.
There are websites out there like your Ashley Madison's, like Seeking. I'm not just talking about Tinder and Plenty of Fish. There are websites out there like, what's it called? Sinners and Swingers, Fab Swingers. There's sex parties all over London now. Like, the world has gone mega, mega open-minded and sex positive.
Oh,
And
because you can't kink shame anymore, can you? This is the thing.
of course, you can't kink shame.
The fact that kink shame is even a word,
yeah,
it just shows where the world is
and
at.
for that very reason, the fact that I kind of love the fact that we're in a place like that as a culture sexually. Certainly, we are in Europe. America, I know they're all a bit closeted still. Sex is only for making babies. I pity you. Enjoy that one. But it's just real. Not all of America, but you know the part of America I'm referring to. And a world being as sex positive as it is now, the ultimate question of these videos that we're doing is this still worth a watch, in this case, 10 years later? No.
Do you know what, though? I feel it could be, because as much as you could be sex positive in the world, this is, again, as you said, he's entry level. There are some people who don't, it's in their mind, but they need something to open the door. This is the gateway.
Is it, though, bro?
The fanfare behind it tells me it is.
The 10-year-old fanfare. Remember, I'm questioning people who are in their 20s, 20 and up in the year 2025. Will this movie, if they're sex positive people, tick any boxes? I can't speak for them, but I would struggle to see how. And I think
that is the first one where we could get a comment below, because yeah, I'm not of that generation. I don't know where their thoughts are at. You know, all I know is TikTok and Snapchat. I need to see like where their mind sits on this on a situation like this.
All right, let's go 20 years old, AJ. 20-year-old movie. Has it aged like milk or like fine wine? A movie that you brought up on the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast recently. Hitch, with good old slappy McSlapface Will Smith.
Can you appreciate the film? Yeah, but there's just this slight tint. And I feel like as much as we're very positive in the world, there is, cancel culture be a thing. Cancel culture be a thing. It's hard to look at the cast now and be like, like everyone was red hot at the time. I will still watch Hitch and have a good time. I know I will, but the character, everyone there is just no one now, which is really sad. Who would have thought that they would have taken such a hit in time? Like Will Smith carried the 90s and early 2000s, man.
Early 2000s, yeah, he owned the summers. He really did. Every summer there was a Will Smith movie.
What we're talking, like 96, 97, Independence Day. From there onwards, Men in Black, the rest. Before that, he was the Fresh Prince, and in between that, he was a bad boy. Who is he now? And it's sad,
But he's bad boy, ride or die.
Let's not get into that because I refuse to watch it. But yeah, it's one of those things. Hitch as a comedy can last the test of time. It's just the people playing it is kind of sad.
And it's that first part of your comment that I want to kind of dive into. Hitch as a concept can last the test of time. I wonder. I know we're not allowed to do kink shaming anymore, and obviously what Hitch is doing isn't a kink.
But
I
body shaming.
wonder. There's body shaming. There's the fact that you're portraying the, objectively quite successful, albeit rotund man as being incompetent and in need of help when in fact the guy helping him is no more competent than he is. I personally think there's a certain poetry to that. It's, I dig in and be like, well, it's not about how you look. It's actually just about being yourself. But I do wonder how people would take Hitch. It's a 20-year-old movie. I do question it. That's still crazy to me that Hitch is 20 years old. I have to say that for a moment. Hitch being 20 really, yeah.
Can I say Hitch
God
is
damn.
one of the last few DVDs I think I recall purchasing, like fresh. I know there was a point around that time I started getting those, and I was like, well, it's time to pop into CEX and buy all these films for 50p or a pound. There was a reason why they were 50p or a pound.
After that mad tangent, Hitch, has it aged well or not? I don't know is the answer, but what would you score it?
I'm going to go with, I was going to say 7, and I want to say 8. I'm going to stick with 7 because it's been a while. I really loved it. I used to watch Hitch, like not back to back, but I could watch it at least 2 to 3 times a week, back in the days.
A week? Jesus.
It's one of those things that it was a frenzy of having the latest films. You'll watch it, you get bored. Should we watch Hitch again? Just slap it on, and it was just there. It was an easy thing. I'm not saying like for more than a month. It wasn't like 6 months of watching that film continuously. It's not that kind of frenzy, guys. No. But like when fresh film, slap it on a few times. Oh, you haven't seen Hitch? Yeah, let's watch it. That was be the case of a thing back then. Yeah, I did enjoy it. So I will go with 7. Just because it's been a while, and I could sit back and just be like, this ain't for me anymore. But it's still a good film.
I'm slightly lower than you, but I do like Hitch, just so we're clear on that. 6 out of 10 for me for Hitch. I think there's a certain poetry to the fact that both the hot, slick, suave guy and the, as portrayed in the movie, rotund guy are as incompetent as each other. And
they both can learn from each other, yeah.
And they both can learn from each other. I think there's something quite beautiful about that. How the generations below us absorb Hitch 20 years on, I don't know, but I'd like you guys to let us know down in the comments. What do you think of Hitch? AJ, let's go 40 years old now. One of my all-time favorite movies, The Breakfast Club, this month turns 40 years old. Older than us, brother.
And I love it. It's a group of people from different cliques, essentially, all being forced into one room and realizing that no matter how the more things change, the more things change the same, is essentially the saying I want to use in this, because everybody feels that they're different and they've all got their backstories, and you wouldn't understand me, but wouldn't I? And it's the commonalities that they find and the understanding that they have with each other that really makes it there, because there's individualities, but there's certain things that makes each person relate to each other. And I just think it works really well. It works really well. And there's a great story in there, and there's a great friendship that builds there. And it's kind of sad that it may or may not happen Monday morning. Who knows what happens Monday morning from that. And that's the magic of it for me.
Yeah, I'm a cynic. I think I don't think they get back together on Monday. But I don't
think there's that, but I don't think you bully as much. You don't.
No, I don't think they bully. I think that fist that John Bender does at the end, that brilliant punch to the sky, don't forget about me, playing over him. I think he's seeing that as small victory. Mission done, barriers have been broken, we understand each other better. We're not going to talk to each other on Monday, but we all understand each other a bit better now. Listen, I'm not just perceived as this thug. People seem to understand me better now.
I don't see the amalgamation of cliques or anything like that. And it's, it doesn't become like Happy Days. I'm not saying Happy Days.
No, peer pressure is a real thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I like, what I picture is the nod. That's all I'm looking for. While walking through that hallway, instead of it being the shove, it's a We don't need to say nothing. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
you,
yeah.
you know me, and we move on. That's what I like from that's all I look for.
I like that. I like that a lot. A little acknowledgement.
Yeah.
A little acknowledgement in the hallways. Yeah, beautiful. Now I don't know this to be true. This nugget of information comes from my mate Richard, who also happens to be my PT. He tells me that this movie is like cancel central for the Gen Zers and below because of, and I don't know this to be true. If it is, comment below. But you know, what I'd like to kind of get up for, what I've been presented with is that there's things that the reason it's been cancelled is because of things like when he's under the table and he tries to put his head between her legs. Oh, that's sexual harassment and stuff. It's like, yeah, sure, but he's meant to be an asshole. John Bender is you know, you find out that there's more to him than just a rough exterior and cigar burns that his dad puts on him and carrying a knife. You know, he is a thug. There's no two ways about it. But there's, as with most people, they're not just one dimensional. There are layers to them. Was that attempted sexual assault in that moment? Because I know that seems to be the thing that, rightfully so, that people get riled up about now. So any even innuendo of sexual assault, it's like instant cancellation. Kind of the point, guys. It's kind of the point that he's an asshole. It's kind of the point that he's more than the Lothario, that he would force himself on a woman. And it's also kind of the point that Emilio Estevez, who plays the jock, puts his ass on the floor shortly afterwards, right? Or is it shortly before? Anyway, he shows that he's not the big. It's shown that he's not the big tough guy that he proclaims to be. You know, he had a saying in Thailand when we were doing Muay Thai, "Takun geng jing chaya vutamai," which means, if you're a bad man, why are you carrying a weapon? If you're a big man, let's go. You don't need no weapon. These are what you need, right? And he wasn't cut from that cloth, but Emilio Estevez's character was, right? So there's all these interesting layers with the Breakfast Club. They're all fallible. They're all human. They're all kind of messed up individuals. You've got one of your favorite things, the sins of the father inherited by the son and all that. You know, the effed up parenting that was so prevalent with the boomer generation. It's on full display here. This is the result of the boomer parenting. A, B, C, D, E. And I think the fact that it's such a brilliant microcosm of Americana school clique culture, and it's a time capsule.
Yeah, but is it Americana or is it any clique? Any
Uh,
school has cliques.
we had cliques in the Lycée, not like this. You don't have guys walking around in varsity jackets. You don't
No.
have,
Of course, yeah. There are certain
you
things
know,
that is going to be very akin to America. Yes, but the cliques be cliques. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's going to have a stronger American touch to it. But a clique is found in all schools. Cliques are found in all schools.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
like I watched it and I had a sense of understanding without it being exactly the jock, the leather jackets, and the prom queens. You know, I get it. But you had your brainiacs, you had your footballers, you had your too cool for schools. They're all there.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And 40 years old, it really is a time capsule now, because where everyone is, again, rightfully so, screaming sexual assault when he tries to put his head between her legs, different time. You
I don't
can't
even know if it's
judge.
different time because here's the thing. As you said, you're portraying a villain. A villain's being portrayed here, and you want to see what's to come up. Now, how do you show me that he's a guy that I'm not gonna like? Like, I'm not gonna go into 12 Angry Century, but here's the facts that are presented to me. I don't like him. He needs to go. He needs to. Yes, I can cheer because he's been decked. Oh my god, I didn't think I would like him.
Now I kind of
Here's,
sympathize for him.
yeah, here's the thing, and it's not like I'm asking people to come and sympathize with P. Diddy tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying in this situation, right? No, let's be real. But the film has to show realities of life. Now, guys, if we're going to pretend that rapists don't exist or people don't do dick moves, like I know everyone's on this cancel culture, but let's not play like everyone's an angel in school. I'm not saying they go to
Right.
that degree, but people are doing stuff even to this day. And I'm not even in the school to know this. My nephew's not even in the school anymore.
I mean,
for me
hell,
to know
look what
this.
happened in Sheffield this week, right?
Bro, it's sad times all over.
Hmm.
Do you know? And I'm not advocating it to be like, well, it happened, so this is that. But let's not play that the world is pearly white and this film needs to be cancelled because a guy's done one action or another.
Yep.
Stuff happen. Stuff happen.
Stuff happens. I'm going to score The Breakfast Club 9 out of 10. It's an all-timer for me. It's a perfect time capsule. It's a really great representation, as you said, of the school cliques and of accepting that people are not just surface level and that those you dislike, they've often got a story as to why they've become the way we are. So let's all stop being so quick to judge and to hate and to name call and to label and to brandish the finger and go, acknowledge the wrong, but then ask why, right? Unless it's Donald Trump. F that guy.
No, but listen, everything has reason behind it. It doesn't mean you have to justify it. You know, go back further than Trump, you go into Hitler. And I don't want to get us cancelled by naming every villain that
now you're risking it. You go from Trump to Hitler. Woo, we've just lost subscribers for that one.
No, but I'm not comparing them either before people do what have you. But I'm just saying, like, when you level stuff up and stuff, everything has a meaning. Not that you have to agree with it, but do you know what I mean? Because we've all had our traumas and we all deal with it in different ways. So I'm not saying Bender is justified, but try to, again, my favorite story, twins. One's an alcoholic, one doesn't touch the bottle. Why? My dad was an alcoholic. What do you want from me? That's the answer both give. It's how you handle situations.
Your score for your score for The Breakfast Club?
I think I'm going to join you on the 9 Hill. I think I'm going to join you on the 9 Hill. It's as I said, my initial touch didn't go for it, but when I watched the film and sat down and said, right, no, we're giving this a shot, there was nothing to hate on it. Absolutely loved it, and it so much different angles for you to be able to associate with each character in a different way because of certain things just shows how dimensional people are, and that's what I love about the film.
That brings us to the end of another monthly classic movie review show. I want to know what you guys thought. Have any of these movies ever moved the needle for you? Are you shocked at the age of some of them? You getting all nostalgic? Let us know. Are you going to go back and watch any of them? If you could only pick one from the four we mentioned to keep in your library of movies, which would it be? I'd love to know that. Leave your thoughts in your comments down below. Be sure to like the video if you haven't done so already. Hit the subscribe button, guys. There's movie content that goes out all the time. New movie releases, interviews, news shows. We got it all. We got it all. If Long Love Cinema is what this channel is all about. Keep it right here on the silver screen, dudes. I'm Nico Luro.
I'm the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
And we'll see you next month for more classic movie reviews. Bye for now, guys.
See ya.